English 6. Quarter 3, Module 5, Week 5. Determining the tone, mood, and purpose of the author. At the end of this module, you are expected to 1. Identify tone and mood in passages and stories, and 2. Determine the tone, mood, and purpose of the author in writing the passages, stories. Read each passage, then answer what is asked for. Write the letter of the correct answer in your answer sheet. Passage 1. I shall throw you on a black ship and send you to the mainland, to King Eshtos, destroyer of all mortal men, who will cut off your nostrils with a sharp brand sword. He will tear your private parts and give them to the dogs to eat raw. Homer, The Odyssey. Which word best describes the tone? A. Threatening. B. Amused. C. Proud. D. Unsatisfied. Passage number 2. There were always children there, and I spent all my time with the children, only with the children. They were the children of the village where I lived, a whole gang of them who went to the local school. I was simply with them mostly, and I spent all my 4 years like that. I did not want anything else. Dostoevsky, The Idiot. How does the speaker feel about, toward the subject? A. Amused. B. Reflective. C. Reverent. D. Remorseful. Passage number 3. The sun was bright, and the sky was clear. Joan jogged down the path with Rex at her side and smiled about last night's victory. The tone of this excerpt can be best described as blank. A. Annoying. B. Cheerful. C. Exciting. D. Gloomy.
Passage number 4. Pop star royalty
Sara Geronimo
arrived, and the newsman packed around the car door to get a single glimpse of the famous singer. What is the mood conveyed in the passage? A. Anger. B. Anxious. C. Calm. D. Excitement.
Passage number 5. The student looked at the map and tried to control the pounding of his heart while he attempted to find his way through the maze of streets to get back to the bus. Which describes the mood of the paragraph? A. Annoyed. B. Calm. C. Excited. D. Happy. Lesson 7. Determining the tone, mood, and purpose of the author. Tone is writer-centered. It is the attitude a writer takes towards the subject or the reader. Mood is reader-centered. It is influenced by the setting. It is the overall feeling or atmosphere created by a work of literature. The purpose of the author is to entertain. The author wants to amuse you or for you to enjoy the writings like fictions, poems, songs, plays, etc. Try to analyze each face. Determine the emotion expressed in each picture. Write your answer in your answer sheet. Picture this. It was a dark and stormy night. I sat alone in the old, dilapidated house staring out the window. The sky was black, the wind was loud, and the rain slammed against the broken window pane. I shut my eyes, remembering my earlier visit, and I felt so embarrassed and angry. When I opened them, the lightning bolt flashed and lit up the room once more. I had to get out of the house, I had to hide. No one could know my horrible mistake. I opened the door, took a deep breath, and ran into the cold and rain. What feelings did you have while reading the story? What made you feel this way? What words did you encounter that helped create this feeling? By answering these questions, you're on your way to defining the mood and tone. Mood and tone are important because they help in creating the meaning of a story. To relate to the story, You also need to understand the purpose of the author for writing it. Discussion of Activity 1. What is mood? Mood is the feeling you get while reading a story. This could be happiness, sadness, darkness, anger, suspicion, loneliness, or even excitement. It can be thought of as atmosphere or overall feeling of a piece of writing or literature. The mood of a story can change the way we identify the thesis and the characters. For example, if we read a short story about a lovable nanny, we would expect positive words like cheerful, loving, and caring. However, we could take that same idea of a nanny and make it more of a horror story by changing the atmosphere with aggravated, cold, and enraged situation. We have the same character, but the author's message and description is much different.
What is tone? You should also decide if a word is abstract, concrete, general, or specific. It is important to note if an author is using a general word, like car, or a more specific word, like Ford Focus. An abstract word is one that may carry different meanings, such as pleasant, while a concrete word will show us the meaning. Finally, look at the details of the story. Language is the first step to finding the tone, but the word choice is just as important. Look how an author describes the setting, a character, or an event. This description will help create the tone. What is an author's purpose? An author's purpose is his reason for or intent in writing. An author's purpose may be to entertain the reader, to persuade the reader, to inform the reader, or to satirize a condition.
Independent Activity 1. Read each selection and choose the best answer by writing the letter in your answer sheet. 1. Which tone is represented in the following passage? Oh. With a top speed of 150 miles per hour, that car can almost fly. A. Calm. B. Annoyed. C. Scary. D. Excited. 2. Which tone is represented in the following passage? She delicately placed the cool baby on a soft, freshly cleaned blanket. A. Calm. B. Annoyed. C. Scary. D. Excited. 3. Which tone is represented in the following passage? As the hurricane threatened, the wind's blast caused angry 15-foot waves to crash over the small houses near the shore. A. Calm. B. Annoyed. C. Scary. D. Excited. 4. Which tone is represented in the following passage? Ugh. Do I have to sit through another boring lecture on data entry again? A. Calm. B. Annoyed. C. Scary. D. Excited. 5. Which tone is represented in the following passage? I will not be left at the mercy of our enemies while you slink away. A. Angry. B. Happy. C. Scary. D. Excited. Independent Assessment 1. Read each paragraph and determine the mood of the following selections. Write your answer in your answer sheet. 1. The mood of the passage is blank. The blank relays the mood. The door swings open to reveal all of my family members standing around the Christmas tree. The lights are twinkling and the fireplace is roaring with a warm fire. Everyone is singing Christmas carols as the snow falls quietly outside the window. 2. The mood of the passage is blank. The blank relays the mood. The gym of the high school was brightly decorated. The red and white streamers covered the walls and heart shapes were scattered all over the floor. Red glitter was thrown on all the tables and love songs were playing in the background. The Valentine's dance was about to begin. 3. The mood of the passage is blank. The blank relays the mood. The night it happened was one we will never forget. The wind was screeching outside as rain pounded against the window. We had lost electricity hours ago and had nothing but candles to light the house. A battery-powered radio we had was broadcasting a warning to lock your doors and stay inside. There was a killer on the loose. 4. The mood of the passage is blank. The blank relays the mood. Lola sat on the old, lumpy couch crying. She could let it all out here, alone in her mother's small, quiet apartment in Galesburg, Illinois. The familiar walls were covered in rose-pink wallpaper. Goldie, her mother's 11th fish, seemed to stare sympathetically at Lola through the fishbowl sitting on the counter. The smell on her mother's vanilla candles comforted her aching heart. Independent Activity 2. Read the paragraphs carefully. Identify what tone is expressed in each. Write the letter of the correct answer in your answer sheet. 1. Often you feel you've done nothing when you've actually done a lot. That's because what you did do seem beneath notice. It was so small that it didn't count. But it did, just as each stitch counts toward a finished dress, each brick or nail toward a house you can live in, each mistake toward knowing how to do things right. A. Hesitant. B. Encouraging. C. Amused. D. Amazed. 2. A vaccine is a preparation of killed or weakened germs that is injected under the skin and causes the blood to produce antibodies against the disease. Effective vaccines, for instance, have been developed for smallpox, rabies, and polio. A. Objective. B. Arrogant. C. Regretful. D. Determined. 3. We have come together this afternoon to mourn the deaths of 16 miners, our friends and neighbors, who were trapped by fire yesterday, deep below the earth. They lived bravely and they died too soon, leaving behind grieving wives and bewildered children. We bid them a final farewell. A. Forgiving. B. Sorrowful. C. Angry. D. Emptiness.
4. Why do these things always happen to me? Brad wondered. First, I forgot an important meeting and nobody reminds me until it's over. Then my boss dumps a big project on my desk and wants it done by yesterday. And to top everything off, I left my wallet on the bus. A. Comic. B. Self-pitying. C. Optimistic. D. Forgiving. 5. Each year in the middle of February, when slush is underfoot and the sky is a depressing gray, I begin dreaming of warm beaches, tropical fruits and sunset. If only I could save enough for a winter vacation. Maybe next year I'll win the lottery. Meanwhile, I'll read travel brochures and sigh. A. Unsure. B. Joyous. C. Long. Independent Assessment 2. Read each paragraph. Then, select the answer inside the box that best describes the author's purpose in writing. Do it in your answer sheet. To inform. To persuade. To entertain. 6. I will try to give the person reading this article some idea of the real nature of Gothic architecture, not just of Venice, but of universal Gothic. One of the most interesting parts of our study will be to find out how far Venetian architecture went in achieving the perfect type of Gothic, and how far it fell short of it. 7. Tofu is a product that is becoming very popular as a low-calorie, cholesterol-free meat substitute. This white, cheese-like substance is made from the condensed milk of soybeans. It is extremely high in protein and low in sodium. Tofu is almost tasteless by itself, but it can be easily mixed into sauces and soups. 8. The purple aliens landed with a crash and a boom. The residents of the small town ran in all directions as the multi-fingered creatures got off their spaceship. They landed right in front of a cell phone store. Aliens checked on the Earth's communication technology and discovered that cell phones were cool. The friendly purple creatures learned how to text so quickly. Maybe friendly aliens would. 9. First, mix 1 box of pudding with 2 cups of milk. Beat for 2 minutes until pudding is thick and smooth. Then, blend in ½ cup of pumpkin pie filling and ½ teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Finally, fold in 1 cup of Cool Whip. Chill in refrigerator for at least 2 hours. 10. What do you do with aluminum cans? Do you throw them in the trash, or do you recycle when you are finished with them? At the rate we are filling our landfills, we will not have anywhere else to put our trash. If you recycle, you will help the environment. The next time you throw away your Coke can, think about putting it in a recycling bin. Your
Independent Activity 3. Read each sentence, then write the letter of the correct answer in your answer sheet. 1. Which tone is represented in the following passage? As that hurricane threatened, the wind's blast caused angry 15-foot wave to crash over the small houses near the shore. A. Calm. B. Annoyed. C. Scary. D. Excited. 2. Which tone is represented in the following passage? Ugh. Do I have to sit through another boring lecture on data entry again? A. Calm. B. Annoyed. C. 3. What is the tone of the following passage? The alarm buzzed. Jordan smashed her fist down on it hard. It flew off the nightstand and bounced off her cat, Armstrong. The cat yowled indignantly and rocketed out the room. A. Airy. B. Sarcastic. C. Passionate. D. Humorous. 4. Which tone is represented in the following passage? Wow. With the top speed of 150 miles per hour, that car can almost fly. A. Calm. B. Annoyed. C. 5. The young girl sat on the steps waiting for what seemed to be an eternity for her father to pick her up. She was thinking about the last time she saw him. It had been years. Finally, it started getting dark outside and her mother called to her to come inside for dinner. She bowed her head and slowly trudged inside as she came to the painful acceptance that he was not coming. He had let her down like so many times before. The mood of the passage is A. Indifference. B. Despair. C. Surprise.
Independent Assessment 3. Read the following, then write the letter of the correct answer in your answer sheet. 1. The feeling or atmosphere of a story is the A. Tone. B. Mood. 2. The writer's attitude towards a subject or character is A. Tone. B. Mood. C. Exposition. D. Characterization. 3. Which of the following words is a mood? I. Serious. B. Sarcastic. C. Witty. D. Melancholy. 4. Which of the following is a tone word? A. Joyful. B. Excited. C. Lighthearted. D. Depressed. 5. The book that contains the best jokes is written to blank. A. Describe. B. Inform. C. Entertain. D. Persuade.
Answer the following questions. Write your answers in your answer sheet. 1. What do you call the author's overall attitude toward a subject? 2. Why is it important for an author to be able to use mood effectively? 3. What is the author's purpose in writing a poem or selection? Answer the following questions and write the letter of the correct answer in your answer sheet. 1. They plan to kill General Washington. He leaned forward, his elbows on his knees. Tell me everything at once. What is the tone of the dialogue? A. Informal. B. Happy. C. Serious. D. Positive. 2. Authors set a tone or mood in literature by conveying an emotion or emotions through blank. A. Space. B. Height. C. Words. D. Funny faces. 3. What is the tone of the following text? I will not. She shouted. I will not be left at the mercy of our enemies while you slink away. A. Pleased. B. Angry. C. Happy. D. Suspicious. 4. She hesitated, listening for sounds of the creature. The forest seemed empty, but she could sense something else out there. Someone else watching and waiting. What is the mood of the passage? A. Romantic. B. Depressing. C. Joyful. D. Suspenseful. 5. Which word accurately describes the son's tone in the following dialogue? Father, we are going to Disney World. Son, yay. A. Irritated. B. Annoyed. C. Uninterested. D. Excited. Read the selection and write the letter of the correct answer in your answer sheet. 1. We are seriously failing our nation's teenagers when it comes to education concerning AIDS. Somehow, we must convince them, without delay, that this terrible illness can happen to them, not just to isolated groups in big cities. Let's give them the information they need to protect themselves, before it's too late. A. Impassioned. B. Mocking. C. Ironic. D. Convincing. 2. What's the matter with those idiots in the city council? First, they pass new parking regulations saying we can't park our cars in front of our own houses without a special permit. Now they've gone and slapped another tax on gas purchased just to widen a road that's already wide enough. Anyway, nobody enjoys the traffic delays resulting from road construction. The sooner we vote those incompetents out, the better off we'll all be. A. Objective. B. Angry. C. Surprised. D. Amused. 3. Yet another public figure has come forward to announce he has signed into an addiction treatment center to deal with his alcohol problems. Reports say he has shown courage and honesty. Perhaps so, but what it really takes to enter a treatment center is money. What about the poor man, like my father, who may also have a drinking problem and courage but who doesn't happen to have $500 a day for a fancy rest home? A. Bitter. B. Revengeful. C. Sentimental. D. Angry. 4. Botulism, a type of rare, severe food poisoning, has been reported recently in New Jersey. It is believed that the victim, who is in critical condition at a local hospital, was stricken after eating from a jar of incorrectly preserved homegrown green beans from last summer's garden. It has been 10 years since the last instance of botulism poisoning was reported in the state. A. Lighthearted. B. Serious. C. Tragic. D. Memorable. 5. Sure, litter bugs account for a lot of the trash blowing around our city's streets, but there are other villains too. What about people who set out their trash days ahead of their scheduled trash pickup time? Worse yet are the stores that pile boxes in back alleys, and restaurants whose mounds of green, bagged trash draw rodents and roaches. A. Critical. B. Tolerant. C. Depressed. D. Determined. Which words build suspense in the following passages? Write your answer in your answer sheet. 1. Jessica walked slowly through the hallway. Come out, wherever you are. She yelled. Since the room was dark, she had to feel around for the doorknob to the dining room. As her hand closed around the cool brass knob, she gave it a firm twist to the right, opening the door to the dining hall with a satisfying bang. The long table was illuminated by a stream of moonlight from a large bay window to her right, allowing her to see enough to enter the room. She giggled with nervousness as she took a few steps forward, stopping short at the sight of something shadowy moving in the corner. A. Room, doorknob, corner. B. Walked, feel, steps. C. Bang, shadowy, nervousness. D. Ding, dong, ding, dong. 2. What is the tone of the following limerick? There was an old man with a beard, who said, "It is just as I feared. 2 owls and a hen, 4 larks and a wren, have all built their nests in my beard." A. Sharp. B. Humorous. C. Conservative. D. Curious. 3. The footsteps were coming closer. I knew I had to get out of there fast. Looking desperately around, I finally spotted a small window at the end of the room, a beacon of light in the dark, rancid basement. I sprinted and leapt up to grab a ceiling pipe. Thankfully, the pipe was close enough to the window to allow me to swing my body through. My enemy was making his way down the hall, bursting open door after door. I needed to break through this window in 2 tries to make it out in time. What is the mood of the passage? A. Timid. B. Cheerful. C. Sorrowful. D. Daring. 4. The year is 2020. You've just graduated from a highly ranked virtual university. You had the opportunity to take e-learning classes from great professors and world leaders in government and business. It's cool to be smart. And even cooler to really understand technology. Almost all the good jobs today involve science, engineering, and technology. And there is such a demand for workers with your skills that you can choose from thousands of jobs. Many of these jobs have high starting salaries and perks like your own pet robot, a new convertible automobile, or monthly online shopping allowances. What is the mood of this passage? A. Fearful. B. Frightened. C. Confident. D. Depressed. 5. There was an old man with a beard, who said, "It is just as I feared. 2 owls and a hen, 4 larks and a wren, have all built their nests in my beard." Based on the tone of the limerick, the intended audience is probably A. Teenagers. B. Children. C. The elderly. D. Adults.